There is a fragrance that is the essence of a timeless style. Lauren, the fragrance by Ralph Lauren. Lauren is beyond the passing whims of fashion. It is a fragrance of lasting warmth and enduring style. Lauren, the essence of a timeless style. The Lauren Bouquet with Brass Purse Spray, $15 with any $13 Lauren fragrance purchase. Available at Stewart's.
There's no value like Toyota value. These leading used car guides rate Toyota higher in overall percent of retained value, higher than Chevy or Ford or Nissan. A one-year-old Toyota Corolla, for example, is valued at almost 5% more than its original sticker. A Toyota Camry, more than 10%. Impressive numbers, you know it. The more you compare, the more you'll see. It's Toyota, not the other guys.
Dave Conrad with Jerry Eves and Paul Rogers back, and we're at halftime here at Freedom Hall where the Louisville Cardinals are getting an education in basketball tonight. Jerry and Paul from Athletes in Action. These guys, of course, have graduated from college. They have all of that experience, around 25, 26, 27 years of age. They played some professional basketball, and they've only lost 3 times in 19 games so far.
So really, if you look at it, the Athletes in Action has played a whole college season, and it's not even the middle of December. This is Louisville's 3rd game. You have players that have played 5 to 6 years more than any player Louisville has, and they're still only up 13 points. If the Louisville players just execute, they have at least 13 turnovers. You should try to keep that down to a minimum of 7.5, 15 per game for college. They could get back in this game. But as long as they telegraph their passes, don't get back on defense and cut off the break, it'll be a long night for them.
Well, I think one thing that had happened early in this basketball game, if you'll recall, Louisville went through, Paul, a 5-minute span where they barely got the ball over half court and had difficulty even getting a shot off at that point. In the last 5 to 7 minutes of the first half, they didn't have those turnovers. So they've been listening to Denny over on the bench.
I'm not sure this has necessarily been a factor tonight, but one thing, Jerry, I think you have to watch for in the type of situation Louisville is in, where they've lost Wagner for the year and they don't have Manuel Forrest tonight, is sometimes everybody starts trying to make up for that, and you get everybody trying to do more than he's capable of doing. I can remember so well the year that Louisville lost Larry Williams. They were really playing well. Denny Crum still thinks that was one of his best teams. But when Larry Williams went out, they had to bring Darrell Griffith from a 6th man to a starter, and everybody else's role changed a little bit, and everybody maybe changed his role a little bit when he shouldn't have. And then you get everybody trying to make up for the guy that they don't have, and suddenly things begin to kind of fall apart. And I think you have to be careful to not do that. You've got to play within yourself.
That's very important. And one thing from the difference between college and the pro game, professionally, everyone can do everything. Everyone can score, everyone can dribble, everyone can pass. In college, you have role players. You have players. When I was at Louisville, my job was to get it 46 feet from top of the key to top of the key. You had Derek Smith and Rodney McCray, Scooter McCray, who were supposed to get the rebounds. Wiley Brown. You had Poncho Wright, who was our designated shooter. He was supposed to come in the game and fill it up. Now you have Milt out, and Milt was doing so much for this ball club. He was bringing it up, he was breaking the zones, and he was the main man they go to in the crunch. So now they don't have anyone to go to the crunch. They're going to have to go to Billy, and the other players are going to have to pick up parts of his role.
Well, it's going to be crunch time here in the second half for Louisville. They have to come back from a 13-point deficit against Athletes in Action. Well, I have a special halftime guest after these messages. Milt Wagner is going to be joining us momentarily. We'll be right back in Freedom Hall.
I'm going to tell on you.
So it's not our brand, but it is the new Colgate pump, so you can't make a mess.
I'm still telling.
Colgate introduces the Pump in Winter Fresh Gel and great-tasting regular with Colgate's MFP fluoride, the maximum fluoride protection a toothpaste can give.
Who got the Colgate pump?
Susie did.
Hey, neat. Still gonna tell on me?
The new Colgate Pump. 2 great tastes, maximum fluoride protection at your fingertips.
Give me some fun in the blazing sun. Give me a friend or two. And when my thirst is at its worst, give me a Mountain Dew. Oh, do it, do it, do it, do it, Mountain Dew. Do it, do it, do it, do it, cool and smooth. And I got a thirst.
Commodore. Commodore 64, only $199.97. High-resolution monitor and single-disc drive, only $249.97 each. Correspondence quality printer, just $299.97. Purchase your 64 now and get free 2 pieces of software from a selection of 50, directly from Commodore.
Children's Palace, a super toy store and a whole lot more.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. People who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
Well, I might as well join everybody else who has put their signature on a man with a famous cast here. This is the cast that belongs to the foot that is attached to the leg that is connected with Milt Wagner's body. Milt, you had an operation. You broke your foot Saturday night in Virginia against the Virginia Commonwealth. You had an operation you weren't really expecting. What happened with that?
Well, at first I just thought I had a Jones fracture in my foot, and they told me I would have a cast on for 6 weeks. That same night I did it, and the next morning, trainer Jerry May called me up. He told me to come to the gym and told me don't eat anything or drink anything. And so I was wondering why all the way there. And once I got there, he still was asking me, did I eat anything? And I told him no. He said, well, they're going to have to do surgery on my foot. You know, and that kind of scared me a whole lot because I never really had surgery before.
Well, you've never had any kind of a serious injury, have you?
Nah, not really. I've been luckily of being healthy all year for 4 years here, and I caught a bad break this year.
What is the situation now as far as you are concerned from what Jerry May, the trainer, Dr. Rudy Ellis, the orthopedic surgeon, have told you? What's your feelings about the rest of this season?
Well, they put a pin in one of my bones because they said the injury I have is hard to heal, and once it gets healed, it's easy to break again. So they had to put a pin inside the bone to make it heal faster and to prevent it from breaking again. And they told me I'd be out to at least 5 to 6 weeks. And from there, I have to rehabilitate it. Then I can go from there and see whether I'll be able to come back this year or not.
Do you want to come back this year? Are you thinking about a red shirt, or don't you just flat no right now?
Well, I'm thinking about coming back right now. I'm just going to pray to God and hope that my foot could be right by the time 6 weeks is up and I could be right back in there playing with the guys.
Paul was chuckling earlier about the Derek Wittenberg line that you had used.
Yeah, well, Derek Wittenberg had the same injury, and he came back scoring 30, so I hope I could come back and do the same thing and win a national championship.
Remember how he topped it off,
That's right? Yeah.
For the NCAA championship.
That's right.
Good luck to you, Milt.
Okay, thank you.
Get healthy fast, will you?
I hope
fans
so.
need you.
I need them, too.
That's Milt Wagner, the leading scorer of the past 2 seasons for the University of Louisville basketball Cardinals, out for an undetermined amount of time with a broken foot. We're at halftime here in Freedom Hall. We'll check the stats for you and talk about what to expect in the second half right after these messages.
Getting a good return on your investment doesn't have to be a gamble. Compare Toyota value. After 1 year, Toyotas overall retain their value better than 1-year-old Nissans or Chevys or Fords. A year-old Toyota Camry can be worth over 10% more now than its original sticker. That's better than some savings accounts. The more you compare, the more you'll see. It's Toyota, not the other guys.
When California Waterbeds has a sale, the word spreads fast. Everybody knows it. There's evidence all over town. People like Wally are throwing out their old stuffed mattresses. He and his wife got in on our sale and got just the waterbed they wanted, in just the right size and style, and at a sale price they were dreaming about. Right, Wally? Get in on the greatest waterbed sale ever, now at California Waterbeds.
Oh, no. I forgot to add the fabric softener?
Solo detergent has softener built in. It's a clean with a softness you can't forget. See the difference Solo softener can make? 2 piles of 10 sweatshirts. Both are clean, but Solo's clean is fluffed up higher. Solo clothes are clean, soft, without static cling. Forget to add the fabric softener again?
No, I use Solo now.
Solo, it's a clean with a softness you can't forget.
When you invite a man out to a nice place for lunch, you really mean it.
May I show you to your seat, sir? This is our most popular patch of sunshine.
Let's start with a drink.
Diet Pepsi?
Diet Pepsi. Great taste with NutraSweet.
I'm sure it'll be to your liking. Yes?
Yes. To everything, with no reservations.
You don't need reservations, sir.
Taste improved by Diet Pepsi.
A very experienced Athletes in Action team holds the lead over Louisville 43-30. You see Athletes in Action shooting well, 60% to Louisville's 43.3, and really they tailed off. They were up around 80% for much of the first half. And Athletes in Action getting a lot of free throws. In fact, Billy Thompson has 3 fouls as Louisville as a team committed many more fouls than did AIA. You see Louisville got only 6 free throws. The rebounding close, Louisville slightly ahead, and the Cards really committing a lot of turnovers early in the game, which got them in a good bit of trouble. They settled down a bit later on. Athletes in Action has been in command all the way in this one, jumping out to as big as a 15-point lead on a couple of occasions. They lead it here at the half by a score of 43-30. We'll be back with the second half coming right up.
It's amazing. Everything I want for Christmas is right here at the Galleria. There are over 65 shops, and they're all loaded with gifts for everyone on my list, even those who are really hard to please. And Christmas shopping in the city is so exciting. The Galleria is alive with the warmth and wonder and sparkle of Christmas. I love Christmas at the Galleria. So will you.
The heart of the city.
Laura, who drank all the Pepsi? And don't tell me it was some strange creature from another planet either, okay?
Yes, Mom.
Can anyone resist the sparkling taste of Pepsi? Anyone?
Hey, take it easy on the Pepsi. Okay? I'm sorry.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Second half tip-off coming up shortly with the Louisville Cardinals trailing here at the half against Athletes in Action by a score of 43-30. A couple of things in that first half, Jerry. One, as we ran down the statistics, I was a little surprised at the turnover disparity. It's not really as great as it might have seemed. And secondly, you look at Barry Sumter's statistics, and they're non-existent.
Well, Barry hasn't been able to get into the game. First thing, Louisville has not been able to get the ball inside, but the Athletes in Action team plays a very aggressive zone, and they have big men that know how to beat and bang. And Barry hasn't played enough against physical players to learn how to manipulate his body to beat and bang. Over the years, he will learn this. Secondly, Louisville is being a perimeter game. They're shooting all 12 to 15-foot jump shots instead of kicking it inside to Barry. Barry turnaround 3-footer, or Barry kicking it back out for the open 15-footer. There's a difference between just a regular 15-foot jump shot you come down and shoot, and when you have the zone collapse and they kick it back out and you shoot a 15-footer.
Sumter doesn't have a field goal attempt. He doesn't have a free throw attempt. He doesn't have a rebound. He does have 2 blocked shots, but he also has 3 turnovers. Athletes in Action, you look at their starters where they shot Tracy Jackson 4 for 7, Kenny Owens 4 for 6, Brian Kelly-Brew 5 for 6. So, as we said, their shooting percentage did tail off a little in the later part of the first half. They were way up around the 80% mark. Still, for the half, they hit 60% from the field on 15 of 25.
That's true. They slowed down because of the fatigue factor. They did get a little tired.
Well, that's understandable. This team has played 19 games, 16-3, and of course they have no home court. They play every game on the road. They played 9 straight games during one stretch. I believe won them all. I think that has been over this current 11-game winning streak. Their biggest comeback win was a 81-80 win over Arizona when they had trailed in that game by 20 points. But they have really proven themselves to be a top-notch team, and it's really changed from several years ago when they really were a group that, as they do now, represented the Campus Crusade for Christ, but that was about it. Now they represent the Campus Crusade for Christ, but also are an excellent basketball team.
Yes, they are. We played them, I think it was like 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, and they played us pretty close for a half, but in the second half, we really got to them because of the fatigue factor. And I think Louisville, if they keep pushing the ball at them under control, that they might be able to wear this team down because Louisville has great athletes.
You saw that the athletes in action backcourt had the big scoring advantage over Louisville, and that probably is to be expected with Milt Wagner out of the game. Jeff Hall did have a good scoring half for the Cards, getting 12 points to lead them. In fact, he and Owens and Kellebrew of athletes in action, the top scorers with 12 in the game. From the field, Jeff Hall connected on 6 of 11 shots, and most of them from the baseline. They had him down on the wing most of the time.
They did. Jeff had 4 turnovers. He is going to have to bend over more with the basketball. That's their main problem. The younger kids now want to dribble standing straight up. We used to say they like to look pretty when they dribble the ball. You have to bend over the ball and protect the ball.
Cardinals have the opening possession of the second half, and they're greeted by that 2-3 zone defense again. Right away, they go in the middle to McSwain. Back out front to McSwain, who shoots. Rebounded by Renfro.
That's one of the 15-footers I was telling you about. They didn't move the ball. 2 passes, shot. That's not what you want against the zone. That's what the zone wants. You want to move the ball, make them play defense, then take the shot.
Louisville, man-to-man defensively. The shot by Tracy Jackson. That's equals the biggest lead that athletes in action has had. Louisville has handled the press better after the opening minutes of the game. Jeff Hall moves it out on the point. Sumter flashes up high, but he goes to the side to Thompson, now down low to Berry. And he gets his first 2 points of the game.
We finally went inside. You have to drop it in. We have to get Barry Sumter in the game. We cannot let Barry Sumter go across the stats. We'll never have a chance. We must use Barry Sumter's talent.
Tracy Jackson with the ball. Out to Renfro. That's Jamie Hall at 6'10", and Renfro also at 6'10" from the baseline. Missed the shot. Sumter couldn't get a hand on the rebound. Picked up by Owens.
Coach Crum always tells
Jackson
them
wide open. Tracy Jackson has both field goals of the second half for athletes in action.
That was a result of not putting 2 hands on the basketball when he went for the rebound. He went up with 1 hand and lost the ball. If he would have put 2 hands on it, Coach Crum tells him every day in practice, he would have come up with that rebound.
This is Abram. Hit his first shot of the night, but hasn't hit one since. On the run is Kenny Owens. Back out to Owens, and there's what you're talking about, Jerry, inside, outside. But he missed the shot, and Thompson has the rebound.
But that's exactly what I was talking about. You have more movement of the basketball. Great pass.
Nice pass into McSwain, who's fouled. Billy Thompson with good ball control when he nearly had it stabbed away. Still got the pass inside to McSwain, who will go to the line.
Billy has a heavy burden on his shoulders. He's the best passer on the team. As we'll see right here, he's the best passer, and he was bringing the ball up on the break.
Jamie Hall's 3rd foul. He's the first athletes in action player to get 3. And Mark McSwain makes a 3-point play as he hits the free throw.
Thompson's leading assist man on the team. He has 4 in this game so far. He had 14 coming into tonight.
He had 14 of Louisville's 35 assists on the year.
That tells you something right there.
Louisville in the press, trailing by 12. Athletes in action breaks it methodically. Over it goes, the jumper. Good. It did go back in for Brian Kellerman.
When you see a player use the glass like that from 18 to 20 feet at that 45-degree angle, that's an experienced player. He knows what he's doing. But Coach Crum told me before the season began when I came back that the team would go as Billy Thompson goes, and he has been playing very well. Tonight, they had just crazy circumstances, but Billy's been doing a very good job this year.
McSwain tried to float it in to Thompson, but the defense took it away. Renfro, quick pass out to Owens. Tracy Jackson with his back to Billy Thompson. Back out to Owens. Play number 2 now.
You watch Louisville, they're not in their regular aggressive man-to-man. They're playing more of a passive zone because they don't know their positions well. They have to pick up their man and begin to get after them to cut into this lead.
Freshman Mike Aber making his first start, gives up the ball to McSwain. Passes off to Sumter, who couldn't bring it down. Wasn't that bad a pass, all alone, 2 on 1.
You're right, it wasn't that bad a pass, but you have to remember, Sumter is 6'11", and you have to get the ball up in the air. You can't throw him a 3-foot bounce pass and expect him to come up with it.
There comes AIA after the Billy Thompson miss. Off to Jackson, good pass. Travel. Excuse me, Kellebrew traveling.
But they'll learn that. They've done this 3 times. They've tried to throw Barry a bounce pass, which when he has his man behind him on his back, yes, that's a good pass, but most of the time you have to get it up in the air for the big man.
51-35, 16-point lead is the biggest of the game for athletes in action. Billy Thompson knocks his man to the floor and gives it off to Sumter, and Barry has 4 points in the second half after a scoreless first half. And a turnover on the inbounds play. Louisville will get it right back.
There was a great example of just keeping the ball where Barry can catch it and shoot it all in one motion.
As nice
Danny Mitchell and James Jetter back in the game. Mitchell back in, Jetter in for the first time.
That's a good move there, too, by Billy T to give up the basketball. I know you were talking earlier about trying to work the ball in closer when you had that open shot, but I think Billy was drifting a little bit, kind of off balance because the man had fallen down, the defender right there. So it was a good move by him to give up the ball.
It really was. But Billy he's got big hands. He can dribble well. He came out of high school as the best high school player in the country, and he's just showing his talents. He can do everything.
James Jetter, at the point guard, directs traffic over to Danny Mitchell. Boy, anybody who just walked in off the street is going to look and say, who's playing tonight? This is Louisville. A lot of strange people out there. Mitchell with the ball over his head. Jetter's open.
This is a good job, though. They keep their patience. Now, here's when that 45-second clock comes into play.
Down to 8. Missed by Hall. Jetter follows. Sumter couldn't reach the rebound. Jackson out to Owens. The Kellebrew. It'll not count, I don't believe. They got him for the charge. Jeff Hall drew the charge.
Now, did you notice Jeff Hall got back like he was in the first half, and James Jetter was back with him. And when you can get 2 players back, you can cut off the break better.
We're 4.5 minutes into the second half. Athletes in Action leads Louisville 51-37. We'll be back.
Atari's 2600 video game system, only $48.84 at Toys R Us. Yeah. Only $24.87 for Activision's Pitfall 2 cartridge. Only $29.97 for the Decathlon cartridge, and just $29.97 for the Space Shuttle cartridge.
More games, more toys. Oh boy!